Hey everyone, it's Miss J. This video is going to talk you through the first half of the 5.1 to 5.4 review for Foundations of Problem Solving. So in problem 1 here, it asks you to identify the form of the following equation. So the first few slides actually ask you about the forms of the equations. So you have to remember that there's point-slope form, slope-intercept form, and standard form. And you have to be able to tell the difference between the three. So for this one, I noticed that the y is by itself and that there are no parentheses. So I know that this one is slope-intercept form. And just as a quick reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So anytime the y is by itself and there's no parentheses and there's no like terms, we know that it's slope-intercept form. So even though the x comes second, this is still something that's in slope-intercept form. For question 2, it says 7x minus 6y equals 17. So I notice that my x and my y are on the same side of the equation and there are no fractions. That means then that this one is in standard form. The third one, I notice the y is by itself. It says y equals 4 times the quantity x minus 1 plus 7. But I notice that in this one, the right side is not fully simplified. I notice that there are parentheses here, which is telling me then that this one is in point slope form. Let's see, this one says rearrange the equation into standard form. So, like I said on that other slide, standard form means that the x and the y are on the same side of the equation and there are no fractions, excuse me. So what I notice on this one is the x and the y are not together. So I want to make it so that they are, which means I'm going to take this negative 8x and I'm going to add 8x to both sides of my equation. Because when I do that, I can get negative 8x and positive 8x to cancel out, which means what I get overall then is on the right side, 8x and 5y are not like terms. I'm just going to take them and rewrite them. So 8x plus 5y is equal to 18. And now if I look, my x and my y are on the same side, and there's no fractions, so this is standard form. Question 5, we're given something in slope-intercept form, and we are asked to rearrange it into standard form. So again, we need x and y to be on the same side, and we need no fractions. So the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and add 2 over 5x to both sides of my equation. And when I do that, they cancel out on the right, which is good. And on the left side, I have no like terms, so I'm just going to rewrite 2 over 5x plus y is equal to 3. Now this is great because the x and the y are on the same side. However, what I notice is that there's still a fraction there. So anytime we need to get rid of a fraction, we have to think about what number is on the bottom in the denominator there. So in this case, there's a 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put parentheses around the whole left side, and I'm going to multiply by 5. And if I do that, I have to remember to multiply by 5 on the other side of my equation as well. But the reason that this is nice is because now I can take this 5 and distribute it inside. And when I do, it'll cancel the fraction. So overall, I'm going to be left with 2x plus 5 times y is 5y. And then equals 3 times 5, which is 15. All right, and by the way, there is a calculator that you can click on here, and then you can write, ooh, that's not what I want. Make that go away. There we go. Here's the calculator. Because I have my stylus, it's being difficult, but you can use your calculator if you need to. in order to multiply those numbers. Okay, I finished that, right? Yeah, this is standard form now. Okay, moving on to slide 6. Rearrange into slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form says y equals mx plus b. So we need the y to be by itself, and we need the right side to be fully simplified. And if we look, the y is already by itself, which is a good thing, but this is not simplified. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this -2, and to get rid of the parentheses, I'm going to distribute the -2 inside. And remember, distribute means we're going to multiply. So we have y equals -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 9 is -18. And then the -8 just tags along at the end. Now if I look, I have some like terms that I need to take care of there. So I'm going to have y equals -2x, and then I have -18 minus 8, which is going to give me -26. And now this equation is in slope-intercept form. Okay, one last one for this video. So this shows us something that's in standard form, and we need to get it into slope-intercept form. So again, we need to solve for y. So the first thing I'm going to do then is get the x to the other side of the equation. In order to do that, I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. And when I do, it'll cancel out on the left, and I'll be left with -4y equals, now on the right side I have 24 minus 8x, but I always like to write my x first. So I'm going to do -8x plus 24. So I'm kind of just taking that 24 and moving it over to the other side, or moving it over to the end, excuse me. Now there's still one more thing I have to do. If I'm trying to solve for y, I need to get rid of whatever's with it. So in this case, I'm going to need to divide by -4. So I'm going to have y equals, and I'm going to move over just a little bit here. I have -8x plus 24 all over -4. And if we look, that looks a little funny. That's not quite the slope-intercept form that we know. So we need to actually simplify this. So we're going to simplify this fraction by dividing, which means we're going to have -8x over -4 plus 24 over, that was a really bad 4, sorry, over -4. So we're taking the numerator, or the top, and splitting it into two separate fractions, and then we take the bottom when we rewrite it. Now again, you can use your calculator here to divide stuff, but we're going to end up getting y equals -8x over -4 is a positive 2x, and then we have 24 over -4, which is going to be -6. So here is our equation then in slope-intercept form. All right, that was the first half. I'm going to make a video to go through the graphing stuff for the second half. If you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to your Foundations or your Math 1 teacher.